Marta, I had assumed for such a long time that you were awful at saving money for the future. However, I've just learned that you have over $500,000 saved up and everything? Huh? Wait, did you end up going into my place without ever asking me first? I have a lock on the place and everything that I keep locked, yet you still made it inside there? I just had to break your doorknob in order to get the door open, but that was pretty easy. You broke my frickin' doorknob to get into my place? Your door seemed to only be made out of cheap plywood or something like that, so it wasn't too hard to get your doorknob to break. What the hell? I'm only renting this place, so you need to calm the hell down. I was then able to get through your door after breaking the lock and everything, and was able to get a good look at your bank book. And that's when you got a good look at the account that has $500,000 in it, huh? That's absolutely right. So would you mind telling me why you have that kind of money saved up in there? Don't tell me that you did something unlawful to get your hands on that kind of money and that's where you've been keeping it. That's not how I got that money at all, Mom. Well, since you've seen the amount I have now, it'd be better for me to explain where it's all from and what it's for to you. That $500,000 is being saved by me for when I plan to retire so that I have something to fall back on in my old age. Retirement money? I've already told you before that I have no plans of getting married to anyone, right? I mean, I might one day have the urge to go out and marry someone if they end up being the person I'd want to spend the rest of my life with. But I'm already in my 30s now, and so I don't think that time will ever come. I think I'm better off just staying single and enjoying my life the way I like it. So in order to protect myself as I keep on aging, I've been saving up a large amount of money in case I ever need it for an emergency. But primarily for when I'm too old to care for myself. I understand that with work and everything, I'll most likely get myself a pension and perhaps a package on top of that as well when retiring. But it's nice to know I have some extra wealth to rely on if that money isn't enough. I've been working on saving that money up for about 10 years now, and with the help of some bonuses from work, it's made it to $500,000. Is that right? Well, now I can finally see that you didn't steal it from anywhere or something like that. Now I have something to ask you. Would you please give all that money to your older brother and his wife so that they can put it into their new home and get on with their lives? What? You understand that your brother has begun the process of building a new house, right, for his wife? I do know about that, yes. He even held a groundbreaking ceremony for the place as well, right? But, Mom, you can't just ask me to hand over my savings to him for something like that. Both he and his wife do very well for themselves and are great at saving their own money up. So I doubt that either of them need my money in order to build that place, right? If you're going to say no to me, then I'm going to have you kicked out. Huh? Have me kicked out of the house? What house are you talking about? I'm talking about your family's house. You know that I'm talking about having you kicked out of this place, right? Huh? I can't believe you, Marta. Going into your 40s here soon, and yet you're still living with your parents and everything in our house? I'm working a job of my own now, and I pay for my right to be here. Are you not aware that being the age you are and still living with your parents in their house causes them a lot of frustration? Causes you guys a lot of frustration? You think I'm the one causing you guys all the problems? I do, I sure do. All you are is a middle-aged woman that only cares about money and never plans on finding herself a husband. You may be our daughter, but you cause your father and I a lot of embarrassment by not moving out. You have a very long time before you need to start worrying about retirement and all of that. All you have to do is hand that money over to your brother, and then you can start saving up all over again and get that money back by the time you do have to retire. So if you want to continue living here with us, then you have to give up that $500,000 and hand it over to us. I'm not going to say all of this again to you, you greedy, husbandless woman. What's going on with you? Jake, do you have a moment to talk with me? I have something that I'd really like to ask you about.
Hey, Marta! What's going on with you?
When it comes to you and your wife, you both aren't struggling with money at the moment, correct?
Huh? Why are you asking me a question such as that?
Before I tell you, can you give me an answer to that question?
We're doing fine over here. And we don't really plan to get any help with the money right now anyway. If we really needed money and we had to go and get a bunch of loans, we'd never be building a house like the one we're working on.
That's what I thought. I know that I had to ask you something pretty personal, but it makes me feel a little better knowing that you guys aren't the problem. Sorry that it was something like that I was asking about.
You don't have to be so sorry about it. But it's very rare for someone like you to be asking me a question like that. What's been going on that's made you feel the need to ask?
Well, it has something to do with Mom again.
Again? Is she trying to do something strange with you again?
Well, what she's asked of me has something to do with you, and that's both why I've asked you that question and did so with a little bit of hesitation to telling you why.
What does she have to do with me?
Early today, around lunch, I was going out with a client of mine to have some talks. And while I was out doing that, Mom went and broke the doorknob to my place and went inside after completely ruining the door.
She broke down your door, basically?
And when she was in my place looking through my drawers, she stumbled across my bank book and got a good look at my savings account that has $500,000 in it.
Why is she in your place in the first place?
Well, it's because of things like this that I have you holding on to one of my checkbooks, and why I carry the other one on me at all times. So she was never able to actually access any of the money in my account. But she began asking me about the money while I was still out with my client. I couldn't just hide the reason for me having that money from her, since she'd probably get the wrong idea from it. So I told her the truth about the savings account and that it's meant for retirement. But after doing that, well, she asked me to take all of that $500,000 and hand it over to you guys for your new house to be built.
Huh?
Can you tell me what's really going on here?
Wait, I don't want anything to do with the money you've been saving, okay? We don't need it here.
That's what I was thinking. I even knew you'd say that to me.
But that's interesting. Interesting that she would say something like that about me.
What the hell is going on with her this time, I wonder?
Marta, that's... This might be happening because of something I said or did around her.
Huh? What do you think happened to cause this?
Well, to tell you the truth, the construction on my new house has only just begun, but they've already gotten most of the wood beams up and everything. The skeleton, you know? And, well, Mom came and saw all of that.
That house you're having built right now is for you, your wife, and her parents to come and live in when it's finished, right? What was her reason for going out there to see the place being built?
Yeah, well, at first I thought she was there to just check the place out a little bit due to her curiosity, but I think she realized that there are two houses being built on the land, and started to think about it.
There's another part being built separately?
Well, that building is really being used for my wife to use as a classroom for when she teaches flower arrangement. But she came up to ask me to let her live there, and then kind of forced us to let her live there. And she even began to call us over and over again about it, and asking us to let her live there in that separate building.
Wait, but that's not okay. Your wife is pregnant at the moment as well, right? Your wife is in her late 40s as well now, so she can't have that kind of stress worrying about Mom and her antics while carrying a baby.
That's right. Hence why I've gone and blocked her number, and that way she won't be able to talk to us anymore while my wife is carrying our baby. So that's kind of the reason for why she might be coming after you now. Mom's a total jerk for pushing herself onto both of us like this. So to get her to leave us alone for good, I just sent her one text before blocking her, saying that if she brings me $500,000, then she can come and live in the new house with us.
Ah, and that's why she wants the $500,000 from me then.
In other words, I thought telling her off with some kind of deal like that would get her to leave everyone alone, but it's only made things a lot more crazy for us all. I'm sorry, Marta. I didn't think that any of this would spread to you so quickly, or at all for that matter.
I see. So that's what happened to get her to act this way. I'm not sure if she realized you were serious about that offer or not, but she seems to have started to look around for some money to start paying you. And when she saw that I had exactly that amount in my bank account, she told me to give it to you to help you with the house, which isn't the case after all.
I'm so sorry about this, Marta. Seriously.
Well, it's fine. This is a bit more than I was expecting, but it's actually kind of nice knowing that you guys are financially okay and don't really need my money for anything.
You feel alright about all this?
She gave me an ultimatum regarding the money, saying that if I don't give up my money, that she'd kick me out of her house. However, I've had a place in my name for a while now, but just haven't fully moved into it yet. And I've just kind of been sitting around thinking about what to do with the place. And since I'm not being threatened with being kicked out of the house, this might be the perfect chance for me to move the rest of myself into that place.
She said she would kick you out? That's a bit too extreme. She really has no idea about anything regarding our lives, does she?
That's right. So if she really wants to talk to me like that, then I guess I will go back to living in that other place I have.
I see. Well, have fun with that then. And if you need anything from me while that's going on, just give me a heads up and I'll come by.
Marta? If you don't want me telling my single and greedy daughter about what I'll do to her here soon, then hand me that $500,000, all right? If you don't, then you're going to have a real problem on your hands. You're going to lose the place you live in and then be forced onto the streets. And I might even have to cut ties with you as well. You understand that, right? I understand and am totally fine with that. Huh? I'm not handing you over that $500,000 you so desperately want from me. So I'm supposed to leave the house now, right? Huh? Wait a second there, Marta. From what I can tell, you don't actually understand what I've told you then, right? After you are kicked out of this house, I'm going to cut ties with you for good. Yeah, and that's totally okay with me, Mom. Huh? And actually, I'm already out of that house now. Huh? I've gone back to my old place that I've had under my name for a while now, and I've made sure to bring all my things with me. So you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? Huh? What place are you talking about? Huh? Why are you getting all surprised about this? Well, look, Well, 2 years ago you ran out of money to support yourself on your own, and that's why you came back home to live with us, right? And when your father died last year, the money from him... You were after that, right? Excuse me? What are you talking about? The whole reason I came back home to live with you guys is because Dad was sick and you guys needed my help. And when he passed away, I couldn't just leave you, so I stuck around to continue to care for your needs. Right? Huh? Have you had no clue about all of this whole time? I guess I'll have to make this explanation as simple as possible for you then. To start, that place you've been living in with Dad for the past few years costs about $800 in rent each month. But the person that's actually been paying the rent this whole time has been me. Huh? For the longest time, Dad had been the one with his name on the place, but after he passed away, I was given the place to continue renting. Is that right? And not just the rent, but the water and gas, as well as the electricity and the food have all been paid for by me. I've been getting around $500 from Jake each month, but the rest is paid for by me. And as for the money that you've been spending for the past year now, that's all been from Dad after he passed away. But I'm assuming, based on how much you spend all the time, that amount from him is running dry and will all be gone soon. Are you sure? I am. Also, the main reason I haven't left the house and you this whole time after Dad became sick and then passed away is just because you can't do jack by yourself. You can't cook, you can't clean, you can barely even change your clothes without me telling you to sometimes. You made Dad do all the housework back when he was alive and well, right? Well, Dad was a whole lot better at doing all those things than me. And back when Jake and I were both growing up with you guys, the three of us would be able to do all the chores while you just sat around. But you never once lifted a finger to come and help us out, and that painted a very bad picture of you in our heads. To be frank, you aren't in any shape to need someone around that needs to care for you, and you are able to get anything done that needs to be done on your own. So you should be forced to do that now. But of course, you still need the rent and stuff paid for on that house, so I couldn't just leave you to handle all that on your own. Jake has taken over the company of his father-in-law and doesn't have time to come over to you guys anymore. And as for me, I work remotely and can make my own schedule up, so I'm the only one in the family with a situation that works out well enough to allow me to be there at your house. That's the whole reason I had to leave my place and come back to you both when you guys needed the house.
I never knew about any of this before.
We've told you plenty of times before. Even Dad told you before he passed away. But I do remember that every time we'd talk with you about it, you'd go on whining about how you wanted to go and live with Jake and leave Dad behind with me at the house. And even after he passed away, you still whined about being with Jake and his wife, so you never ever listened to what we had to tell you.
But that's because it's normal for the mother to go and live with her oldest son.
And that's why everyone told you over and over again that Jake and his wife have been having to care for her parents. Because unlike your lazy butt, the both of them can't even walk well enough anymore and need the help. And another reason they don't want you around anymore is because you kept trying to force them to let you live there. Why don't you just listen to what they have to say and then be quiet about it? I understand that you would have looked at the place and thought that you'd be able to just squeeze on into it, but that extra building you saw being built is meant to be for his wife's flower arranging classes, which they are now going to be using to house her parents in. But you didn't even listen to that story either and have now created a lot of unnecessary stress for them all.
But Jake told me that if I had $500,000 to give to him, he'd think about letting me live there. That's why I need your $500,000.
Jake only said that as a way of getting you to stop talking to them, and it almost worked out for everyone.
Huh?
He never thought that you'd come looking for money from me and then expect to get said money once you found it.
But he's going to need that money for the house, right?
He told me he doesn't even need my $500,000 and to keep it.
What? But that's...
It looks like we've both gone on a bit too long with this, but that's what's been happening, Mom.
Marta?
I've told the real estate agency that starting next month, the contract on that place is being canceled.
You're canceling it?
You have until next April to move out of there.
But that's not even half a year away anymore. You have a place already and prepared for me to live in next, right?
And it seems that Jake has been on to that.
What?
But be aware that this doesn't mean you're going to go and live with him next.
Then what is he planning to do with me?
Well...
Marta, what the hell? You are my gosh dang daughter, so you take care of me until the day I die.
Shut the hell up, Mom.
Huh?
Have you not even realized yet that I'm super pissed at you?
Marta?
You started all of this off by saying that you'd have me kicked out of my own place and then cut ties to me. But only an hour or so later, you're asking for me to take care of you until the end? I'm tired of listening to you change your mind all the time, only to fit your selfish needs.
Wait a second. You can't talk to me like that.
Who the hell was the one that asked for me to be this upset?
Huh?
Having to keep talking to you like this is hurting my heart. I can't do this with you any longer. I'll do as you've asked and cut ties with you.
Wait, Marta!
Goodbye forever.
Marta!
After I finished with her, I handed everything off to my brother to finish up. Since my mom didn't really have any more money for herself, Jake ended up spending a little bit on her to make sure that she was sent to an old folks' home to spend the rest of her days. But on the day she was supposed to go into her new living quarters, she began to bawl her eyes out and ran to Jake's house looking for him to take her, but that never happened. She then proceeded to head back to the old folks' home and moved into her room. Every so often, we get calls from the place regarding her, saying that she doesn't require a lot of their attention, but she's also not really bonding with any of the other people living there. Now, as for me, after telling my mom that I was through with her out of anger and then explaining I was cutting ties to her, I never got a text or call from her again. I'm thinking that the next time I'll be meeting with her will be at her funeral. But of course, I don't mind that becoming reality, and have started to only focus on myself and the fun life I want to live. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.